UFC Macau just wrapped up, man, and confidently can say that was, one of the best cards I've seen in a minute. Crazy finishes left and right. I mean, massive upsets too. Was a fantastic card. I ended up going 7 for 13. Not bad, but not my best either. The road to the UFC fights really, really killed me, which sucks because, it's not the easiest to find films on those guys, but I don't have any excuses, man. I should have gotten them right. But yeah, I didn't do well in the road to the UFC fights. But yeah, man, let's get right into this recap. First up, Nikolas Motta beats Machate to a decision. I did pick Nick Motta to win this fight, and he looked solid, okay? I was worried a little bit because Machate, he came out there and he was a little bit slow. He was patient, which if you know Machate, he doesn't, he's not a patient guy. They didn't give him a knockdown here, but he got a knockdown early on in this fight where I really don't think it was a knockdown. Kind of just a slip or a fall. I don't really know what it was. But Nick Motta comes back, lands a nice left hand, and steals that round from him. The second round was definitely Machate's, landed better shots. And then Nick Motta comes out in the third, drops him early, almost KOs him, where I have a KO prop on him because I don't think Nick Motta wins a decision. I didn't think he would, and he gets a decision win. So, hey, a plus 200 underdog getting that right is definitely a solid. And that was crazy to me that Machate was plus 200. I mean, my goodness. I know Nikolas Motta is not that good, but I knew he's been training a lot. I knew he's been training hard, and, he got it done. So good for Nikolas Motta, and a good way to start out the night. Next up, Xiao Long Quang Li. Xiao Long put that shit on Quang Li. And I did talk about Xiao Long's cardio and his pressure and his, the way that he, he can come forward and he can keep throwing. And he did that, man. He came out there swinging like crazy. And Quang Li, he was hitting him with some big shots, especially early on. I thought, Quang Li was going to get him out of there. I really did. And Xiao Long just kept coming forward, durable as hell, just walking him down, eventually finds the KO shot. And I really wished, I know Quang Li, he did shoot a couple takedowns, but usually he mixes in those takedowns. But the forward pressure of Xiao Long was just too much. He couldn't do it. And Xiao Long was pointing to the center a lot, emoting a lot. And I like the guy. He's probably a, two fights and done kind of guy, but we'll see what happens. He's like the Chinese version of Marab a little bit. Keep pushing forward, except he's a striker. His defense, though, he faces a big puncher. He'll probably go out cold. So, but good win for Xiao Long. Very good win. Next up, Lanier Kavanagh, Jose Ochoa. And Lanier Kavanagh gets it done via a unanimous decision, where in that second round he had to fight some adversity. And, I was huge on Lanier Kavanagh. As you can see by the numbers here, man. It says that Ochoa outstruck him. Don't ever look at the numbers, guys. That fight, that doesn't tell the fight. Kavanagh controlled the first round. He controlled the third round as well. Got this one done. And I know people were expecting a highlight reel KO, but, if you go watch Lanier Kavanagh, he doesn't typically do that. And Ochoa was, eating some massive shots, man. Those Peruvians, James Lontop and Ochoa, they got some chins on them, man. So, great win for Kavanagh, though. It's a tough guy to beat. A tough first fight in the UFC is Ochoa. I mean, he's a guy who belongs for sure. He showed off his striking was pretty good and dynamic and powerful. He had, Kavanagh hurt to the body, I believe, in that second round, which won him that round. But, yeah, man, Kavanagh, I thought he looked good, and I know people will say, oh, he wasn't worth that price tag, and people critique him, but it was a good fight, and I do think that Ochoa is just good, and people will find that out. But a very good win for Lanier Kavanagh. I did pick him here, and I did pick him, I think, by a decision. I don't remember, but, a decision was definitely in play. Very good win for Lanier Kavanagh, though. Jose Ochoa definitely showed out and showed he belongs. So, yeah. Next up, Naim Jargal, Tumen Burrell versus Carlos Hernandez, and Carlos Hernandez gets this one done. He controlled that fight. And, his chin, Carlos Hernandez, I thought he'd be a little bit more durable. He ended up getting hurt twice in that fight. But other than that, I mean, it was all Hernandez. I mean, he was controlling that fight, winning that fight everywhere pretty much. You look at the striking exchanges, it wasn't really close. Naim Jargal would land something hard, and I don't even know. The first time he got dropped in the first round, I don't even think it was a hard shot. I mean, it barely hit Hernandez, and he went down. I don't know if Naim Jargal has crazy power. Hernandez durability is a little bit bad, but Carlos Hernandez, I knew when it comes to skill for skill, he is much, much better than Niam Jargel. Not even close, actually. And he showed that his striking was better. He landed more shots. He countered well. He pretty much destroyed Niam Jargel. I don't want to say destroyed him, but without those knockdowns, the fight would have been 30-27 without a doubt. And I know that's kind of stupid to say, but if that didn't happen, Carlos Hernandez would have controlled this fight with relatively ease. Next up, Xiao Fang loses to Shi Ming. Okay, I was very, very big on Xiao Fang, and I was so excited to see her get in there, and I bet a sickening amount of money on Xiao Fang, a sickening amount. And I was very confident she'd get it done. She goes out there, controls the first 2 rounds, lands some nice shots, and Shi Ming lands a head kick that knocks Xiao Fang out cold, and she was out for 5 minutes, I believe. And I was just shocked. And Shi Ming's such a nice lady. She was very emotional about the win and very sympathetic, and she was very sad about it. But I'm not here to diss or anything, but my goodness, man, can I catch a break on something like this, okay? I was looking at this with on the stream that I was doing for the fights, and flyweights or strawweights in the 3rd round KO percentage is 2%. So I was just doing a little statistical thing. It doesn't matter. But yeah, man, Xiao was controlling that fight and had it in the bag easily. Okay, up 2 rounds easily, and Shi Ming fainted low and landed a head kick, and probably one of the craziest KOs I've ever seen, honestly. I mean, really, really honestly. Down 2-0, getting destroyed against, a very, very highly touted, 22-year-old. You're, kind of getting thrown in there to lose pretty much, I want to say. And a head kick knockout. Absolutely insane. And I was very, shocked, and I lost a lot of money. And I hope, Xiao Fang can come back, because she is, she showed she is a good fighter, and she can compete in that division without a doubt. But yeah, man, I was very upset when I saw that. I was, if it wasn't so early in the morning, I probably would have, screamed and woken my neighbors up if I did. But it was very, very painful to watch, and I was very upset. But nonetheless, man, Shi Ming, she seems like a nice lady, and she was very, sad about it. So I'm glad she got the win. I'm not glad she got the win, but, I'm happy for her. Okay. But that one really hurts, guys. And next up, these Road to the UFC fight, they just fucking killed me. They killed me. Karu Sahada versus Donghun Choi, and it was all Donghun Choi, and he beat the hell out of Karu Sahada. And one thing about Sahada, which typically he usually does, is when someone's ducking under shots like that, and because typically that's what you're going to do when you're going against a taller guy. He was, Sahada was just exchanging. I thought he'd grab that clinch just because that's what he usually does, and land shots in the clinch there. He didn't end up doing that and got put out cold. And this was right after the Shi Ming one, and I was not a happy camper, man. I was really, really, really pissed off. But yeah, man, look, Donghun Choi, he's a good fighter, and I knew that coming in. I thought Sahota was a good fighter, and I do think he's pretty good. But Donghun Choi looked elusive in there. He looked really, really good, and got the finish, so a good win for him. He'll probably get bounced out of the UFC in 2 fights, maybe. Next up, the last one. Oh, my gosh. Like, these 3, man, you got to be kidding me. All right? Oh, my God. Very painful for me. Suyoung You beats Zhang Gillespie. Man, I thought Gillespie would, look a little bit better. I thought he had the better cardio here. And I thought he would be able to scramble and not find himself on his back. But Suyoung You put him on his back. Looked pretty good. I don't know what else to say about it. He's another guy who's, probably two fights and he's gone. No offense, obviously no offense. And I would say this even if, my fighters won, I'd still probably say 2 fights and gone. You know what I mean? But, yeah, Suyoung You, he's okay. I mean, he's blocky. He's small for bantamweight. He's strong. His striking is very mediocre. His takedowns are pretty good, but it's only a single leg. Not much to worry about, but I was more upset at Zhang for not taking chances. And he did take chances late in the 3rd round, and then by that time it was already over. And it sucks, but, Yeah, 0 for 3 on road to the UFC is not something I really like. I hate that. But yeah, man, bro, because this shit says it's Mingyang Zhang, not Zhang Mingyang. It's Mingyang Zhang. Mingyang Zhang knocks out Ozzy Diaz with the front, like a lead elbow. Pretty nasty KO. And at the time, I didn't even know what it was. I thought it was like a straight right, and they replayed it, and it was that step in lead elbow, nasty, nasty shot. And Mingyang Zhang. I keep looking at this, and it says Zhang Mingyang. Mingyang Zhang, man, he showed his versatility. He was kicking the hell out of Ozzy Diaz's leg. And I'm not going to say, oh, Ozzy Diaz is this and that. But I think Mingyang Zhang probably beats Khalil Roundtree. If we're being honest here. His pocket boxing, man, he gets in that pocket and puts Roundtree out cold, in my opinion. But yeah, Mingyang Zhang is definitely always going to be a fun fighter, bro. He brings it, always looking for the knockout early. He is a fun fighter to watch. I love the guy, the Mountain Tiger, and he showed, the side kick to the body. He's got quick counter shots. His pocket boxing, he didn't need to show a ton of it, but that elbow was dirty. And I don't think I've seen anybody at those higher weight classes throw an elbow like that. And it was very impressive. And I love Mingyang Zhang, man. I'm a big fan of the guy. And I hope nothing but the best. I know he called out for a top 15 fight. Might be a little bit early, but he's got 2 first-round finishes, maybe one more. And we'll see him in the top 15, hopefully. The guy brings a fight. Next up, Ulberg beats Volkan Ozdemir. Look, I thought Ulberg looked really good. He did look really good, and I thought, he maybe slow down on the gas a little bit towards the end of the fight, and I did think Volkan Ozdemir would try to wrestle a little bit more, but Ulberg, when Ozdemir did wrestle, Ulberg shut that shit down. Wasn't having any of it. He looked really good on the ground. Defense looked good, and on the feet, man, slick, so slick, and head movement was on point. Footwork was really good, and he's a guy who can compete, especially with someone who. I don't think he goes out there and beats a guy like Ankalaev, but, does he give Pereira a hard fight? Does he beat Roundtree? Yeah, I think he beats Roundtree, and I think he can give Pereira a hard fight, similar stature. In my eyes, he is the faster guy, Ulberg, but that'd be a sick fight. I know, Ulberg hasn't proved that yet, but he's on his way to doing so, and if he can get back there in time before, that Alex Pereira and Magomed fight, he can definitely cement himself if he gets the right matchup. He can cement himself as a real contender for the belt, and I do think it's very possible. But he did look really good, man. That check hook is nasty. He was popping the jab out. I thought I was gonna see a little bit more kicks from him, but nonetheless, bro, the dude was on point, and very good performance from him. Next up, absolutely insane. Oh my gosh, I was in shock. I said in shock, dude. Wang Cong comes out there and, doing her stupid ass emotes and the Joker shit. And I did pick Wang Cong, but I was talking about Gabriela Fernandez. I was saying, don't be surprised if she makes this close. I said it, and I didn't pull the trigger on it on my pick, but I pulled the trigger on the bet because the line was just ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. And Wang Cong, granted, she was winning the fight, but, she got complacent. And Gabriela Fernandez landed a big head kick, man. A big head kick. And it hurt Wang Cong. But her first decision is to ego, fight her back, and just throw wild hooks. After she threw those wild hooks, she just stumbled. And Gabriela Fernandez hit her with a right hand, or a straight left hand, dropped her and hopped on the choke like Charles Oliveira and choked her out, man. Just a crazy finish. I did say don't count her out here. She can fight, especially a person that's going to stand like Wang Cong. She can fight. And, man, very crazy finish. I mean, this card had some insane finishes. I mean, like, how many Performance of the Nights we got given out here? I think 3 or 4 minimum. The Mingyang Zhang's got to be here. This one's got to be here. The Ming Shi one's got to be here. That's already 3. And really good performance. Gabriela Fernandez was losing, but she was always there. And a really good win from her. I'm, happy for her. She looked good, man. That finish was crazy, bro. That shit was insane. I saw Wang Cong out cold. It was insane, man. Crazy. Like, this card was legit insane. Next up. What did I tell you about Muslim Salikhov, bro? Stop disrespecting my boy like that. Everybody was saying, Salikhov's too old. And I had people telling me that Salikhov's old. Nah, bro. This dude is, give the vet some, some praise, bro. This guy comes out here he's looking pretty good. And Song Kenan landed a couple shots. He did, right on the chin of Salikhov and backed him up momentarily. And then for some reason, in Song Kenan fashion, he does something stupid and shoots a takedown, which I would expect from him. At times, he doesn't have much going on in that brain up there. And then Muslim Salikhov lands a nasty spinning heel kick. I mean, bro, landed perfect right on the jaw, put him out cold. And another one where it's like, this has to be a performance bonus. Like this one and the Ming Shi one, to me, like have to be there. And I know Gabriela Fernandez one had a great one too, but these two have to be there for sure. And really good performance from Salikhov. And I knew, I didn't think he was going to come out there and knock out Song Kenan, because Song Kenan is tough. But I did think when it comes to the striking, man, Salikhov is much better. Song Kenan is stationary. He doesn't move his feet. In that Ricky Glenn fight, he looked atrocious. Muslim Salikhov gets the job done. And I don't know. I want to say Song Kenan could get cut, but I'm not going to say that. But good win for Muslim Salikhov, man. Glad my boy got it done. Tabitha Ricci versus Xionan. I mean, bro, this was a legit, murder. I mean, was not even close. Tabitha Ricci, she got a lot of betting money on her very late, and she, got to, I believe, plus 155 underdog. She got fucking smoked. Xionan, I don't know how to say her name, but she was looking good, man. The counter shots were on point. The right hand was piston-like, and, Ricci couldn't get it going at all. You see this, man, 17 strikes. Are you serious? I think people in a wheelchair could do more than 17 strikes. Pathetic. And a great performance from Xionan, but she had her doing that because of fainting. Oh my gosh, she was reacting like crazy to the feints, and just absolutely outclassed her. It wasn't even a close fight. And really, really good win for Xionan. And I don't want to say, I want to see her fight again for the belt this fast. I mean, at the end of the day, bro, it's Tabitha Ricci. She's a fringe top 10 that's coming off 2 split decision wins. You know what I mean? So she really doesn't really deserve a, title shot after that. But I don't even know if Zhang Weili ever fights. So we'll see what they want to do. But a very good win for Xionan. And next up, man, the main event, Petr Yan schools Deiveson Figueiredo. Personally, I did think it was 49-46, but that shit doesn't matter, man. Petr Yan absolutely destroyed Deiveson Figueiredo. And, I mean, man, it was a beautiful performance from, everything was looking on point, man. It was just, that one trip he had at the end of the round was just, I mean, he just threw him to the ground. It was a brutal, brutal performance, and I don't even know how to explain it, man. Because Figgy is good, but the volume, man, he just doesn't have the volume that Yan has, the technical ability, man. Those uppercuts he was landing were just such good timing. He ended up dropping him in the third with it, and Figueiredo comes out there and lands his signature straight right hand and drops Yan, dude. I don't know what is in that right hand, man. I mean, I wish they would have replayed it a little bit more, but I went back and watched it. It was just a straight right to the chin. Just dropped him, sat him down. But Jan's combinations were looking on point, man. His movement, his defense, just the classic Jan performance. And I know people aren't ready to hear this, and I want Jan to have the belt, and I want him to fight for the title, but there is not a chance that he's getting a title shot. All right? I know he beat Davidson, and he's beaten Song Yadong, but guys, you look at who is the champion right now, and what the hell did Merab do to him? He 50-45'd him. There's not a chance Petr Yan will fight for the belt against Merab, okay? Maybe Umar goes out there and beats Merab. Sure, they do that fight probably, but as long as Merab's there and Petr Yan doesn't go out there and get another impressive win, there's no way they're going to make that fight, man. A 50-45 mauling, beat down, I just don't think that's going to happen. And it's hard for me to see that happening. And I wonder, what y'all think about that. But really, man, you can't get 50-45 and act like you should deserve a title shot 2 fights after. And as much as I dislike Umar Nurmagomedov and, how he's going up to the top so fast, they're just not going to do Petr Yan Merab again until Yan either gets another win, an impressive win, or Merab loses the belt. So that's going to be how it is, man. It's not going to be anything different. It's just I want to see the fight and I want to see, Yan champ, but come on, at the end of the day, we got to be real about it, bro. He got 50-45 by the champion, and nobody's going to want to see that fight. So, yeah, man, that's going to be it for me. I did decent on the card, not great, but I hope y'all boys enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one.